Hey guys, this video is mostly I'm going to do synthetic division for 3 different examples, and these are from, the first 2 questions are from the Delta Math, that's the EOC review, and the third question is a problem from one of the escape room problems. So these are problems that are in your classwork. So when you have to factor, hopefully you remember that the equation and the factors are related to the graph. So I don't have my calculator with me, but I know that when I graph this, it's going to look something like this. This is 1, and you'll be able to tell from the little tick marks. This is not 1. This root is, it should be like negative 4.5. But you can't use negative 4.5 when you're writing a factor. You can only use integers. So I can use synthetic division with this, and it will give me what that other factor is. So one of my factors is x minus 1. Because if you remember, the factor and the x-intercept, or the factor and the root, need to zero out. So if my x-intercept is 1, then my factor is x minus 1, because 1 minus 1 is 0. So I can set up my synthetic division with the integer x-intercept that I found out there, so that's 1. Across the top is the coefficients, so 2, 7, and negative 9, making sure that you put a 0 if there's an x that's missing. This one doesn't have any x's missing. So 2, a positive 7, and a negative 9. And the first part of synthetic division is you just drop that very first number all the way out into the very bottom. And then we're going to multiply, put that number here. So 1 times 2 is 2. And we're going to add. 7 plus 2 is 9. Multiply. 1 times 9 is 9. Add. Multiply, add. Multiply, add. This last number is where the remainder shows up. So that last number is the remainder. It's a good thing that I got 0 because I just divided by an x-intercept. So I'm supposed to get 0 because when you divide by a factor, there's not supposed to be a remainder. And so your numbers down here, it's always going to be 1x smaller than what you started with. So if this started with x squared, 1 smaller than that would be x. So 2x plus 9 is the other factor. So the factored form is 2x plus 9 and x minus 1. All right, another question that's going to use synthetic division. This one actually wants us to divide. So I don't have to graph it, and I don't have to find any roots because it's giving me what it wants me to divide by. So I'm going to set up my synthetic division. And this x minus 8, if that was a factor, then the x-intercept would be 8. So that's what I want to put out here. You always want to have the number out here be whatever number is going to make that 0. So 8 minus 8 is 0. All right, and then I'm going to go and put my coefficients up top. And I'm not missing any. I have 3, 2, 1, none. So 2, negative 15, negative 7, and another negative 7. I hope I copied this problem down correctly. All right, drop down. Multiply, add. Multiply, add. So 8 times 2 is 16. Add that together, I get 1. Multiply, 8 times 1 is 8. Add. Negative 7 plus 8 is 1. Multiply, add. So this one does have a remainder. This is my remainder. So that means x minus 8 is not a factor. So when I'm going to write my answer, the 1 is this. I'm going to put 1 up here. The thing that I'm dividing by is x minus 8. So the x minus 8 is what's going to go here, because that's what I was dividing by. This part of it is going to be what this gives me when I put all the x's on it. So since I was dividing by x to the third power, this is going to be x squared. It's always one x smaller than you started with. So x squared, x, no x. So the right way to put my answer will be 2x squared plus 1x plus 1 plus 1 over x minus 8. So this part is the p of x plus the remainder divided by whatever you got, whatever you were dividing by. All right, so this one wants us to find the remainder when you divide x cubed minus 1 divided by x plus 2. So again, I'm going to set up my synthetic division, because synthetic division can help us divide, it can help us find another factor, and it can also help us find the remainder. So since this is what I'm dividing by, the thing that makes that 0 would be negative 2. So that's what goes out here. Now, if I look here, I am missing quite a bit of x's. It goes from x cubed all the way down to the constant. So there would be a 1 in front of there. I have no x squared term, I have no x term, and then I have the negative 1. So the x3, x2, x1, x none. And now I can make sure that I have no more missing spots, and I can go ahead and start. So drop that all the way down, multiply, add. Multiply, add. Multiply, add. And the last number in your synthetic division is the remainder. All right, so a couple of you again had emailed me about these questions. Keep emailing me, screenshot the question that you're working on, or tell me exactly what the topic is that you want me to cover, and I'll be happy to keep posting videos for you guys to watch to help you with your EOC review.